Hello. Today we are going to review modal verbs. They can be simple modals or modal perfects. The structure of the simple modal of a modal is modal plus infinitive. For example, I should speak politely. However, the structure of modal perfects is modal plus have plus participle. For example, the doctor was upset. I should have spoken politely. Okay, now that we have seen these examples, we are going to see the types of modal verbs. And they are these. Okay, we have the verb can, and I'm going to include also can't, be able to, and couldn't. Okay, the meaning, of course, is poder, to express ability. Poder o saber. Can't is the opposite, no poder o no saber. Be able to is the same as can, but we use it in the future, for the future. And couldn't can be pude o supe. Hacer algo in the past. Okay, also can and could can be used for requests. For example, can I open the door? Or could I open the door? And as we can see, after the verbs can or could or a modal verb, we have to write an infinitive. Okay? For requests, we can also use the verbs may or might. But these are formal, quite formal. Both of them are formal. So I can say, may I open the door? Or might I open the door? Okay. Again, is for requests. Okay, what else? We have more verbs like that. More verbs, more modal verbs. Okay, must can be used to express obligation, for example, you must do homework. You must do homework. But also it can be used to express deduction, uncertainty, when you are really, really sure about something. For example, the lights are off. They must be in bed already. Ellos deben de estar en la cama, ya. Okay? That's certainty. I'm really, really sure about that. Okay. However, mustn't expresses a prohibition. For example, you mustn't use your phone in class. You mustn't use your phone in class. Está prohibido. Okay. Other modal verbs which express obligation are for example, obligation, we have to or has to. For example, she has to do homework. She has to do homework. We can use have to also, or has to, in the negative to express lack of obligation. We can use lack of obligation with the negative, falta de obligación, no hay necesidad, no tienes por qué hacer algo. For example, she doesn't have to go to visit her mother's friends. No tiene la necesidad, no tiene obligación de de visitar a los amigos de sus padres, de su madre. Okay? Also, we can say that in the past, she didn't have to go to visit her mother's friends, because this verb have to behaves like a normal verb. It needs the auxiliary do or didn't in the past. Didn't in the past. It needs an auxiliary verb for negative and interrogative sentences. And finally, the other important modal verb is for advice, should. Or ought to. Or also had better. Deberías hacer algo. Both are for advice. To express advice. Okay, so you can say we can say that, but I think we've already seen that this example of should. But let's see some example with had better. Or you can also say, you'd better study harder. Or should study harder. And what about ought to? Ought to is the same as should, but we usually use this ought to with the pronoun you, mainly with the pronoun you, but they are interchangeable. So as a review, as a summary, I must remind you that these modal verbs all express or advice or ability to do something or obligation, etc. Just one thing that I would like to stress is the fact that may or might can express they can express request, a formal request, but also they can express possibility that something may happen, that something happens. It's a possibility. Okay? Now, I left this space just like that because I would like to stress the contrast between these verbs and these other verbs. Okay? For example, when do we use these modals and the modal perfects? We use modals when the sentence refers to the present. And I'll give you one example. A similar example that I already said, but it's similar. So in this similar example, as I said before, the lights of her home are off and it's late. So she must be in bed. Okay? So this sentence refers to the present and we use a modal, a simple modal, a modal followed by the infinitive. However, here in the modal perfect, the sentence refers to the past. All the sentences with modal perfects refer to the past. For example, the teacher didn't look well last week. So she must have felt ill. La profesora no parecía estar bien la semana pasada. Ella debía de haberse sentido enferma. Look that the meaning in Spanish is different. Ella debe estar en la cama y ella debía de haberse sentido enferma. So the modal perfect refers to past actions, and the structure, as we have seen, is a modal plus have plus participle. Okay, so try to take a picture of this whiteboard, of this explanation, if you like, so that if you take a picture, you will keep this as a memory, as a memory, or as a reviewer of what we are talking about. Okay. Now the next stage is to see the type of modal perfects that we have in English. Okay, we have must have, plus participle, past participle. Se usa para indicar una conclusión acerca de algo que ocurrió en el pasado. No sabemos con total seguridad o certeza si ocurrió o no. Pero todo indica que eso fue lo que pasó. Indica certeza. For example, Joseph failed the exam, so he must have missed the lesson. Joseph suspendió el examen, él debió de haber perdido algunas clases o haber faltado algunas clases. Okay? Again, I repeat, es indicar algo que tienes la certeza de que debió ocurrir en el pasado. Casi la certeza absoluta. Then we have may, se utiliza para expresar que algo pudo haber pasado, hubo una posibilidad de que algo hubiese pasado, pero no tenemos la certeza. Es simplemente pues una intuición o algo una probabilidad que pensamos. Podemos usar may y might indistintamente, pero might quizá indica más improbabilidad, es más improbable que pasara. Okay, for example, él podría haber tenido éxito en el examen si él hubiese estudiado más. ¿Okay? Podría, es una posibilidad, pero no hay certeza tampoco. ¿Okay? Another type is can't have or couldn't have. Ok, también can't have expresa certeza de que algo no pudo haber pasado, es imposible que haya pasado, en el pasado también. Y couldn't, exactamente lo mismo, es imposible, indican los dos imposibilidad de que algo haya pasado, algo haya sucedido. For example, el sospechoso estaba en el supermercado en el momento que ocurrió el crimen. Entonces, él no pudo o no puede haber matado, no pudo haber matado a la víctima. So, they are situations that are not possible. They express certainty that something didn't happen. Expresan esa certeza de que algo no pudo haber sucedido. In the positive, if it is can, he can have killed or he could. Indica lo mismo, certeza, can have o could have, certeza de que algo sí, bueno, más que certeza, indica la posibilidad. En este caso ya no sería certeza, es posibilidad, es muy posible que él pudo haber hecho una cosa. If we say the suspect wasn't at the supermarket, si el sospechoso no estaba en el supermercado, él pudo haber matado a la víctima o él puede haber matado a la víctima. In negative is impossible. It's like you express that it's impossible. But in positive, it expresses that it is a possibility. There is a possibility. Okay? De que podría haber ocurrido. So in that sense, we can also say may or might. Sorry. May or might have something done. Posibilidad en el pasado. ¿Ok? In this case, we are talking about a piece of advice, but referred to the past. We can use should or shouldn't. Is a piece of advice, and ought to as well. Both are pieces of advice referring to the past. For example, sorry. Again, deberías haber preparado más comida, pero tú no sabías que yo iba a venir. Okay? Again, the situation refers to the past. A piece of advice in the past. And in the negative, you shouldn't have done this. Let me think of an example with shouldn't. Or, sorry. No deberías haberme dicho eso. A mí fue muy mal educado, muy poco educado por tu parte. Okay? And the last type of modal perfect is this one. Okay, the main use of would have, the main and most important use is for conditional sentences, especially the third type of conditional. For example, habría comprado más café si yo hubiese sabido que no había ninguno. Okay, the third conditional. So this conditional, remember, that is for actions that already happened in the past. You cannot do anything to change the situation. That's why I call it the impossible conditional, because because it's impossible to change the past, and you only what you do with this conditional is to make a regret. You regret something about the past, regret a past action. Te lamentas acerca de una situación pasada. And that's all for the modals and modal perfects. I refer you to the student's book to do some exercises. Sorry for the blank space, but there is a good one, a good exercise. There are several good exercises, but today in the classroom we practiced on page 70, exercise 4, especially exercise 4. And I asked, in this exercise, if you have the student's book, please go to page 70 and exercise 4. And I asked the students in the classroom which sentences referred to the present. And the sentences that referred to the present were number 2 and 4. So these sentences take a modal, a simple modal. But the other sentences which refer to the past must take or need a modal perfect because they refer to the past. So in number 1, the correct answer would be wouldn't have known. Wouldn't have known. In number 2, may postpone. Number 3, could have entered. Could have entered. Number 4, can't be, easy. Number 5, must have been. Number 6, didn't have to. Number 7, might have stolen. And number 8, should have given. Okay, and I think that's all regarding modal verbs and modal perfects. Thank you for watching.